everybody. Welcome to this week's review for Another World. Let's jump right in. Some great ones this week. Really good. I say this every week. Really good images because they are. And then I apologise for sounding so surprised because I know I shouldn't be, and I'm not genuinely. It's just just one of those things that comes out, isn't it? But what I will say is this week was fantastic, just because I like these weeks where you've got to be a little bit more creative and kind of introduce elements that you have to control more. So what you're actually doing is you're thinking about what your final image is, and you're thinking about your composition. So there's not much to chance in a way. So I quite like that, and I like that it makes you look for something else to introduce into that composition to allow you to gain the effects and the images that we'll see coming up here. So the idea was random objects, things like bags, set in front of the camera with a background to create and trick the eye into thinking that this is, maybe an alien landscape or a foreign landscape or a planet or, another world. And, as we'll jump in here, you'll see that things have been introduced to that as well, like Jeff's one's down here. It's fantastic. But, that playful element of introducing characters, Paul's done the same there, and that works because of the way that you've composed those. So let us have a look, and literally down the rabbit hole for Steph's first one. And this is great. I mean, if you looked kind of closely, you'd probably see that, is that moss? But because of this kind of hue or saturated effect that we've got on here, and it's made this kind of pinker tinge there. It's really played with the kind of contrast and the levels, the colour levels in this image. So it does make it kind of feel otherworldly. And we've got that's something I would imagine or have seen in kind of comics and things of other world or planets. So I think that's a really good image, that, Steph. Again, because you've introduced an effect, you've seen the image, but you thought, how can I now manipulate this to create something that looks, let's say, otherworldly? You also did a cookie, but this is great, Nancy. There you go. So Steph had done a cookie as a planet. I'd not thought about it. That's what's great about this. You just use your creativity and you're using your imagination to come up with these. So that's great. Would you know it was a cookie if you hadn't have titled it as a cookie? Maybe, but it works. And maybe even in black and white it would have been even a bit more kind of more abstract. And I guess that's the idea, isn't it? It's taking it to that next level and thinking, how do we, like when we've done a lot of abstract stuff and I've asked you to crop things in, it's not about understanding the context of what that image is, but you're creating something that looks new and different and abstract based on that. But this works really well, Nancy. I think it's a really good, great idea. And Steph's. Guy had a great week this week, sir, I must admit. Some of these were beautiful, and this is the kind of thing I'm thinking about. So we're using fabric, and we've got a lovely shallow depth of field here, but it runs off into the distance, and we can see just slight kind of, they create contours in the landscape, don't they, because we've got the shadow And so that contrast works really well, creating these kind of valleys almost, or dunes. And you thought about the colour of the fabric, so that works really well. It's a really strong image, really, really good. You took a lot this week, which was great. Another couple more that we'll jump into. Let's jump into them now, and then we'll come back to Paul's. This again, it's a plastic bag, but what you've done here, which is really nice, is you've set the composition so we can see the sky. So straight away, our eye is almost kind of tricked into thinking, okay, yeah, I see this. This is some kind of hill or mountain, or what is it? Because we can see the sky, so we understand what that is. So we make the connection, but it works really well. Again, maybe changing the colour would have been quite interesting, because we would have still maybe understood that this was sky, but what could you have done with that? So, but I think in terms of composition it works really well, so it's a really good shot. Same with this one, a few like this. So we've got this neutral background which works great, because it gives us that kind of sky, doesn't it? And then again with this we've got some lovely light and dark areas and contours, look, because it kind of, these hills or mountain or landscapes kind of rolled off into the distance. Great colours. Yeah, it's a really good, and the 6 or 7 on there, guys, so well done. Paul, this is very good. This is nice and playful. Again, multiple layers of landscape here that you've built up. We've even got some stars in the sky. But yeah, just a playful, great shot actually. Popping this alien in an alien landscape as he heads towards us. That glare. But yeah, good depth of field there as well. So we've got foreground and background out of focus, and we've just got this. But as an image, we pull all that together to create this concept of it being another world. So good job. Hey, Steph, again, you took some great ones this week, and I really like this one. So you've put some effects on, which actually really adds to this. Don't know what it is, and it doesn't matter, does it? Because that's the whole idea of this, is it's tricking us and using something that's abstract to create another world. So we've got our background here. Space, really, isn't it? And then this planet, and it's something you know, as kind of planetary photography, if that's a thing. This is exactly what you would see. So I've got as the curvature of this planet comes off, we're out of focus, and then we've got, again, as you've done this week, all of you, very nicely, we've got this lovely kind of shallow depth of field here, which brings these bits into focus. So it helps to create that illusion of the curvature of a planet. So really good, and the colours work fantastically. What planet is this? I know you said moon. Yeah, just a great, really well done. Nancy, loved this. Kind of reminds me of like a gas planet, maybe. Your Jupiters and your Saturns. Really nice. Just, I don't know where you've done this, but, or is it like a stone or a kind of a marbling? But really clever. You've seen this and thought, if I crop in, again, if you've cropped in, so you've cropped in really well, so we don't know what it is. So I'm guessing, but then we're really kind of drawn to these beautiful lines on here. Yes, works so well as another world. Really good shot. Jeff, good to see you back again, sir. Low camera angle, limited depth of field, yeah, fantastic. So your contrast has helped to bring out these, these darker elements, which I think works really well. And it's just composed really nicely to create this other world. I love this this landscape area here. Don't know what happened there with that. That was weird. And the Dalek in there. So you've introduced that character. It would have worked without it as well, but I think it's very fun and playful adding that in. Great shot. And this as well. There was another one, but I think this out of the three was my favourite, just because, this is synonymous with the body or the lower elements of the Dalek, and we know that. So kind of seeing the reflection there of the Dalek in a bit of a sunglasses lens, I presume, it's a really good bit of trickery, and we can still see. We've got the green here, so we've got kind of it's otherworldly in its sense because of the introduction of the Dalek. Again, a great different take on that. Fantastic. Great week, honestly, really good. I like these kind of challenges. I just think, well, maybe on a personal level, it's, as you'll know, it's more of the stuff that I'm interested in, but I just think the results, and it's just great seeing how you interpret this. Photography is such a subjective and individual thing, and we always say that. How you view things to then how you capture things individually is fantastic. And again, I appreciate you taking the time and taking part in these. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with your book covers this week. So take care.